Okay, friends, in the previous video we have learned regarding the solidification process which is going to take place in the pure metals and as well as the alloys. As we had studied that in both metals, pure metals and the alloys, it is a completely different process. This different solidification process it is going to takes place. Now today we'll learn the what are the different parameters which are going to affect or the solidification process in both pure metals and the alloys. I had listed the some of the things which are going to affect over the solidification process. The first one is the type or the composition of the casting alloy. Particularly if I could have considered the pure metals, the solidification process or the directional solidification is going to be more if you compare with the alloy, since it consisting of only one metal with respect to the certain melting point. But if you consider the alloy which consisting of different kinds of the metals which are having the different melting points, the thing in the particularly in the alloy, the material which is having the highest melting point is going to cause a more effect during the solidification process. And the solidification process always it is undergoing with respect to the highest melting point of the particular material. And however, in order to increase the solidification process, we'll add the some kind of an agents, particularly in the alloy, which will promote the directional solidification. So this is the one parameter which is going to affect over the solidification process. Second thing, as we are observing, thermal properties of the both alloys and the molding material and the cooling rate. So the one of the important thing we should know in the both metals, or even if I could have considered the alloy to undergo the solidification, is the thermal property. So the thing which is having the highest melting point will have the less solidification process. The thing which is having a low melting point will have the higher directional solidification process. This is one thing which is going to affect. And the second one is the thermal properties. The material which is having the higher thermal conductivity will have the increased directional solidification process, whereas the material which is having the lower thermal conductivity will have the decreased the solidification process. Even the molding material is also one of the important thing we should know. The molding material which is having the higher thermal conductivity will increase the directional solidification process. The material which is having the lower thermal conductivity with respect to the molding material will have the lower solidification process. And the third aspect which is going to affect over the solidification process is the mold thickness. If the thickness of the mold is more, then it conducts a lower the thermal conductivity, which results in the increased the solidification time. And even the another aspect is the shape. If the shape of the component which you are going to carry out to make a casting, if it is having a complex shape, then automatically the solidification time which is necessary to undergo solid will going to increase. Then the fourth aspect is the chills, the gates or the casting design which is going to affect over the solidification variables. The chills are those things which will be added in order to promote the directional solidification. These are the materials which will be added wherever will have the complex shape, where the thing will undergo increased solidification process. They will provide an chills which will directly absorb the heat content of the molding material to promote the directional solidification. A second thing is the gating. So the providing of a gating or a riser is also very important in the casting process, where these gates or the risers, wherever we are going to promote, we are going to provide, they should promote the directional solidifications. That once again it depends upon the mold shape. Then the fifth one is the pouring temperature. Always the pouring temperature should be it should be higher than the melting point, which will make the flow of the metal or a alloy into the gates in a very easy manner, which will promote the directional solidification. So friends, these are the 5 aspects which are going to create a effect over the solidification process, both in case of the pure metals and as well as in the alloys. So in the next class we'll study the how actual directional solidification process is going to takes place in the material. Thank you.